Hello, we are drama bonded.
Welcome to our podcast. I'm Jess.
I'm Mandy.
And we are drama bonded. And today we thought we would take some time because we have some new listeners to reintroduce ourselves.
Hi.
Yeah.
Welcome.
So glad to have you.
We love you.
Yeah, we are grateful. We are trying to grow and delighted for every new set of ears we get.
Thank you for tuning in.
So tell me a little about you, Mans. What do you do for work? What do you like to do outside of work? What are some
I'm Mandy.
Mandy things?
I professionally am self-employed as a freelance graphic designer and creative director. And so I do that during the day. I also, as a side hustle, am a nutrition and strength training coach. Jess and I both share that passion. And
We do.
And I also do a lot of fitness in my spare time for myself. And I also enjoy cooking and traveling, and reality television is my sport, so I am very passionate about it. And my dog. Yeah.
Your dog. We love Rook. Yeah, I will say reality TV is kind of the real clincher for our friendship. We were like, oh, damn.
It's like that and fitness, you know?
Yeah.
Really brought us together.
Our two big loves.
And candy.
And candy. Yeah. So I work in higher education. I sort of just wrangle people and do budget, which is very fulfilling for me. I do really enjoy that. Outside of work, I am really, really into weightlifting, Olympic style, not Olympic level, to be clear. And I don't know, yeah, baking, and
She's a fabulous baker.
Thank you.
Like, her cookies are gold.
You're amazing.
Scheana would say good as gold.
Good as gold. Thanks. Yeah, I mean, I think they're pretty good. I eat too many of them. I'm now actually, Saul made a rule I can't bake unless I have somebody to take half the cookies. Because we will just eat batches of cookies. Yeah, that's kind of it. That's me in a nutshell. And then, you know, fitness, candy.
You're
all of the
also an
above.
activist. You put a lot of time and effort into things you feel strongly about.
Yeah, thanks. I didn't know. Yeah, that is very true. And I care deeply about that. And kind of on that note, should we get to our candy review?
Yeah.
Let's do it. So I ordered some candy from a Palestinian company called Baladi. I hope I'm saying that correctly. We got some watermelon gummies, and I don't know what to call those ropes.
They're like the sweet tart candy ropes on steroids.
Yeah, they're huge. They're beefcakes.
Yeah,
and they're
meaty.
delicious. Like, I didn't know that I liked the inside part of the ropes probably more than I like the gummy outside.
Yeah, there's more ratio of powdery whatever that is in the center goodness.
I guess, like, to me, it kind of reads as like a nougat, but sweeter than kind of a regular nougaty.
I think
filling.
it's like if they took sweet tart hard candies and then crushed them up into a powder and then put something in there to make it slightly less powdery and a little bit more sticky.
Yeah.
That's what I think it is.
That's a really good description. The sweet tart ropes are just off the hook. They're huge too. I ate 3 and was like, whoa, I've never felt full from candy until that.
Jess did make a story about the company, but we will include a link to this company in our bio for a little bit in case you're interested in looking them up.
Yeah, you know, they ship from the UK, so it definitely wasn't cheap, but I tend to make one candy purchase a year from another country because there are a few places. New Zealand has some candy I really like, so it's my once a year splurge, but this was hands down worth the weight and the cost and shipping.
Fabulous.
Yeah, and the watermelon gummies. What did you think of those?
I thought they were really good. So if you guys remember us reviewing the berry clouds, the watermelon rind kind of has that similar like creamy puffy texture.
Yeah.
And I thought they had great watermelon flavor.
They do. And again, this always surprises me when it comes out of my mouth, but they're not overly sweet, but they're sweet enough. And so I also feel like I can eat more of them because I'm not giving myself like a sugar stomach ache.
I would always like this kind of candy more if it was a little bit more sour, but I tend to gravitate towards sour.
That's fair. I could actually see some sour in that going a long way, but there is zero sour.
Because the sweet ropes have that like tanginess from the sweet tart filling. So that's almost bringing in that
Oh,
tang.
that's a really good point. Yeah. Man, those ropes. Chonkers. They're so good. So
Thank you for sharing.
happy to share. Always happy to support places that I can. So should we?
Wait, we have a couple icebreaker questions.
Oh, man, I'm really sorry. I
That's
just am like
okay.
guiding us all over the place.
I think that the activist was a natural transition into the Palestinian candy, but
Yeah.
we picked a couple random icebreaker questions to ask each other just as a funny way to help you guys get to know us better, but also to laugh about stupid things about ourselves.
Yeah. So I'll read my first one.
Okay.
If you were a wrestler, what would be your entrance theme song?
Oh God. I had to think a little bit about this one. I think it would be I Will Survive by Gloria Gaynor. And, you know, it has like the theatrical entrance moment. So I could bring the drama, and I definitely see like full blown sequin 70s look.
Oh, yeah. I was
Big
going to
hair,
ask. Okay. Yep.
Big shoes.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you just start kind of breaking it down.
Oh my God. Mandy, I need this to happen. I really do. If your career and everything else goes to shit, let's make you a professional wrestler and we will do this.
I can see it.
Me too. I think you would be so fun.
Okay, let me find your question. Okay, Jess, if you found yourself in a zombie apocalypse and you could have 3 people on your survival team, who are the 3 people you would bring?
Okay. I guess I have to make this general caveat. No offense to you or I, but like, I don't want either of us on our zombie apocalypse team. Our anxiety, it would be rough. So it's no, like,
We're
I
not
love
an
you.
asset.
No, it's just anxious. I don't know. I'd probably just be stating the obvious. For me, it would be my husband Solomon and his mom, because those two are just so smart and the calmest people I have ever met in my life.
Those are important people to have.
Yeah, and they know they're very handy. They know their way around firearms. Like, yeah, those are my people. And then my good friend Mitch, who is just right. Like, I can't not. I just those 3 would go far.
Yeah, that's true. Mitch could ruck you around in the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, he could. Mitch also just is somebody who's incredibly loyal and very good in crisis moments.
Yeah.
Like, Mitch will solve a problem.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what the problem is, that problem's being solved, and that's what you need.
Yeah.
Somebody who has the knowledge to solve problems, and it's not me, because something breaks and I'm like, well, done.
dead now.
There's no fixing that.
I think that's a solid team.
Yeah,
I respect it.
thanks. I feel pretty good about that. If you had your own late night show, who would be your first guest?
I asked her if this person had to be dead or alive, and she said anyone. And so I'm going to go with my childhood answer and say Robin Williams.
I love that.
Just because I think he would be a delight to just converse with and see his energy in a conversation. And who knows where it would go, you know?
That's really touching. I could see that. That would be an excellent first guest.
So R.I.P.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Okay, Jess, if you were stranded on a desert island and you could either take your worst enemy or go alone, which would you choose and why?
Okay.
I guess it's deserted island. I don't know if I thought it was. Always thought it was desert island.
Deserted.
Deserted. There's no other people there.
Deserted makes sense. Desert island also. I mean, that would be a little rough, but deserted island. I had to think about this. So I'm going to go with somebody that, like, I mean, in my mind, I have enemies, but not really. They're people that I don't know, political, whatever.
Yeah.
But somebody that I used to refer to as my arch nemesis, I would absolutely take her.
Oh, okay. Why? You don't have to say her name, but tell us why you take her.
No. She's incredibly fit, strong, super smart, capable person. I would be so stupid to not have somebody
Like, she would be an asset.
Absolutely an asset. Like, she's a formidable foe.
Okay.
But, you know, I guess if like push comes to shove and you've got to survive, she's also the person you absolutely want on your team. So I would have to swallow a lot of, at this point, I wouldn't have to, it would be fine. But like at the time of Nemesis height, I would have to swallow a lot of my ego and recognize, you know.
You're better off with her than without her.
Absolutely.
I respect it.
Yeah, that one was hard though. I had to really dig deep for that because I don't know. I also really like being alone, so I would be fine, but I also would probably die considering my zombie answer. Like, she's probably worse off with me. So in a way,
you're still winning.
I'm winning. Sucks for her.
Oh man, I love that answer. I'd probably be like going the Wilson route and just have like a palm leaf as a friend.
Oh, you know, sometimes it's good to just have somebody to talk to that doesn't sass back.
Or a rock. I have a very creative imagination.
I like it. I would just die alone and sad.
I think your answer's smart.
Cool. Thanks. She'd
probably save you.
Oh,
guys would get off the island.
With her, absolutely. So,
okay, you guys, we have so much to talk about today.
So much.
We had 2 Bachelor episodes this week, which is a lot of content. And God, I felt like both episodes were meaty. There was like a lot happening.
They were. This season is giving, and yes. I am beyond grateful for it.
It's been the funnest Bachelor season in a really long time.
Yeah.
I don't even hate Joey yet.
Right. We don't hate Joey. He's done such a good job, like really showing up, being present, taking things seriously, but also being able to laugh at himself and do dumb things. So
humanizing the role.
Hugely. And then, you know, we've got Vanderpump that had drama.
Okay, so starting with Vanderpump?
Yeah, let's do it. We open with Schwartz showing up to Sandoval's birthday. And Tom is pissed about the conversation with James.
Oh my gosh.
And I hate Schwartz now more than I have ever hated him. But I will say this one little redeeming moment.
Well,
for
and
him.
he had one last episode too.
He did. He's got him, but he kind of lost me later in this episode. But Tom is bitching about the way that James handled the situation and demanded that he be apologetic. And Sandoval can't be. And Schwartz was like, but you need to be.
Yeah, he was like, you should have said yes.
And instead, then what does Tom do? Double down.
And as soon as Tom brought up the fact that he pulled the Kristen card, Schwartz had his head in his hands and he's like, oh my God, you did not do that. Like, even Schwartz is able to pull away enough to be like, what the fuck, man? Like, what are you doing with, like, do you want a relationship with these people? Do you want to rebuild? Are you actually sorry? You should have just said you were sorry.
Right. Like, what do you want out of this? And I think that was actually a really, like, in that moment, a very poignant question. Like, what are you trying to do here?
And Sandoval seems kind of surprised that Schwartz isn't just, like, sucking his dick and is like, it was so much worse, man. Like, you did the same thing that was so much worse. And it's like, what are we even talking about?
That blew me away. The fervor with which he was so committed to the line that what James did to him was worse than what he did to James.
Let's just break it down and actually figure out if it's worse.
Okay.
So we have, I think Tom and Kristen had recently broken up, but were still like sharing an apartment.
Yeah. And yeah, they were broken up. If I recall correctly, Tom was with Ariana.
Yes. Or starting like, you know, I do think that Tom and Ariana probably fucked before Tom and Kristen broke up.
Oh yeah, for sure. Anyway, Kristen ended up sleeping with James in Tom's bed using Tom's condoms.
And apparently there was a shirt to wipe off after things. Okay.
Sex is messy.
James was 21.
Yeah. Kristen and Tom were not together. They did not have a good relationship. It was the kind of relationship I was about to say it's the kind of relationship you have in your early 20s, but I think at that point they were both not in their early 20s.
Kristen was cheating on Tom. Tom was cheating on Kristen.
Yeah, and poor James getting caught in the middle of these two almost 30-year-olds.
Yeah.
Like, also, not to really defend James, but it's still kind of side-eye behavior of, like, James was, in fact, very young here. And I just don't see the equivalent then to
Fast forward.
a 9-year relationship with eggs frozen and Tom taking sperm to fertilize them to have potential children, having purchased a multi-million-dollar home.
Rachel being James's ex-fiance.
Yeah, sleeping with her in their house while Ariana's asleep, while Ariana's away at her grandma's funeral. And like for how long the affair also went on, like how many times did Kristen, it doesn't even matter how many times Kristen slept with James.
Yeah.
Like this affair went on at least 7 months.
Yeah.
With Tom and Rachel. So I just am like really failing. Like I was so blown away by Tom. Like this is his hill.
What James did was so much worse though, Jess. And
Tom
the thing is he actually believes it.
Oh, the seriousness on his face. He is so upset by this and like can't move past it and just is incapable of seeing himself as anything other than the victim.
And then we see him complaining about the conversation to his friends like Kyle Chan and Billy Lee, which I guess Billy Lee is team Sandoval? Like why is Billy Lee like at the party?
I don't want to perpetuate rumors, but it does seem like Billy Lee and Tom Sandoval have some chemistry. Like they do seem to gravitate towards each other, you know? Billy Lee just can't help herself.
Well, and the thing is I think Ariana makes a point that he's like surrounding himself with people who won't be honest about. What did she say?
Yeah, that he's paying these people. He's just, they're yes people.
Yeah,
Nobody's
like,
gonna
disagree with him, challenge him, tell him he's in the wrong. He's surrounding himself with people who just support Tom. Yeah,
Scheana tried to come to Kyle Chen's defense saying that he isn't that, but I mean, he is. He's Tom's jeweler. And Tom spends stupid amounts of money on things. Like, it is kind of to Kyle's benefit to, like,
maintain that relationship.
Yeah. So I think it does kind of just. And then who did he have? His band manager?
Yeah.
Jason. So, yeah, it does kind of seem like Tom is just around people that either he pays or he doesn't seem to know that well. Because James was like, who are all these people? Who's who? Yeah, I don't know.
The next morning, we see Anne cleaning up the birthday party mess.
Oh, and she does not get paid more for that, which is disgusting. Tom Sandoval, you suck.
I mean, she's your assistant, not your maid.
Yeah. As someone who oftentimes has to clean up the shared space at work in the kitchen, that sort of stuff sends me. Like, if it's not your job to clean, it's not your job to clean up.
I mean, I don't know, what she was hired to do, like if that was a part of the agreement, but
I believe I saw somewhere Anne has quit and come out as Team Ariana.
Yes, I have seen that as well. So go, Anne.
Definitely.
And then Ariana and Katie are getting IVs because they are, oh wait, we missed emo night.
Oh yeah, emo night.
So we saw Scheana, Ariana, and Katie DJ emo night. And can we just talk about how Lala doesn't know what emo is? When she said, is Nickelback emo? I was like, what? Are you fucking kidding me?
Nickelback is alternative rock.
Okay, I looked up Lala's age. She's 33. So she's 2 years younger than me.
Okay.
You know what emo is.
Yeah.
Like,
Dashboard Confessional.
Yeah. Yellow card. Like when I was listening to emo, that was when it was like on popular radio stations.
Absolutely it was. Yeah. That was, maybe she's just not into emo music and doesn't want to participate, but she did seem really out of place. And Scheana, Ariana, and
I guess Yellow Card isn't emo. Who else is emo?
No, don't ask me, because now I'm going to have to confess that I also...
I mean, I know what emo music is.
I do too. It was never really my scene though. I'll just admit this. I was so diehard Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Everybody else was dead to me. Like, that was the only person I was interested in listening to. But I do kind of... We don't know either.
Jason Mraz and Celtic music. But
yeah, Enya was my other.
Yeah. But I know what emo is when I hear it. And Nickelback is not emo. And I'm just saying, Lala, come on. Even if you don't know the emo bands, you know what emo music is.
Absolutely. I'm trying to... We don't know either.
What is an emo band?
Who is emo? My Chemical Romance, Paramore. Yeah, I would have gotten there. I can hear the songs in my head, but again, they weren't my things to listen to. But like, if somebody played me music, I would know emo or not.
Was Lala just throwing shade because she wasn't DJing? Like, what was that? Also, why wasn't she on stage with them?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of like Lala's situation, or sort of the way that she's orbiting everybody this season, is really bizarre to me. You and I talked about this a little bit before, but like last episode, she just seemingly was not understanding Ariana's position. And then this episode, she's been so team Ariana, like, intensely. And then, I don't know. And yeah, the not DJing, like, I just, she's got to be in a tough spot to see Ariana coming out on top after a cheating scandal and where she's at with Randall.
Yeah. That's fair.
That's got to just be hard. So I don't know, like she's got some demons to deal with.
I would rather have her be a little bit more unpredictable. It's more interesting television.
Absolutely.
And I really don't know if I could handle the entire season of her like not being more supportive to Ariana. So
yeah, that would
take
be
it.
Yeah. I was really impressed. She came around. So yeah.
Then we have Scheana screaming good as gold, which was
what do you think? She says that she didn't want to be pop. She's always wanted to be.
I don't know if that's true. She wanted to be pop.
I know. And it's okay to change your mind.
Yeah.
I have changed my mind many a time.
Change
Everybody
aesthetics.
should. But it just makes me laugh that she denies that she ever wanted to be pop music. She just wanted to be.
She totally wanted to be Britney in the beginning.
Yeah, she did.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. But don't say that you didn't.
Queen Britney all the way. So I don't know. It just made me laugh. And Scheana was having a good time.
Yeah.
James throwing shade that they weren't really DJing. They were just playing a set list. But
I mean, I would also just be playing a set list.
I think that is that DJ level. I don't know. But is that a skill unto itself? Absolutely. Because I think to be able to put together a playlist that can keep the night going is a little bit of an art form. I couldn't do it.
I mean, I understand it. It's like when people use Canva to design things, and it's like, I understand that this is an accessible tool that makes your job easier and makes things presentable. Like a playlist is like, I can put a bunch of music together and play it, and it feels like I curated an experience. But I also see from James's perspective, like when you actually put a lot of effort into creating your own things from scratch, it's a completely different colored horse.
But I also don't think
Horse of a
anybody's
different color.
pretending that
Right.
Ariana, Scheana, and Katie have mad DJ skills comparable to James.
I think it's just the fact that the term DJ can cover a variety of skill sets.
Right, because radio DJs, that's what they
Right.
do. So,
Yeah.
there needs to be another word for what James does.
Yeah, there's like real DJs and then,
DJ Light.
yeah, DJ Curious.
DJ Curious. There we go. There it is.
Anyways.
We'll get to that. Okay. Lala. Maybe not the most. Oh, did you see Scheana drop the mic?
No.
She did a mic drop, but then she hurried, like, bent down to catch it after she did her good as gold screamo.
She
thing.
dropped the mic?
As like, mic drop. But then she's like, boom. And she reached down and caught it really fast. You could tell she practiced that. It happened so fast. The dumbest thing that I saw, but that was.
That performance did not warrant a mic drop moment. Did it?
She thought it did.
I mean, I guess that's what matters.
Yeah.
She's a performer. If she feels like it deserves a mic drop,
good for her. Scheana is perpetual cringe, but I don't want to knock somebody too hard for having confidence, especially around something that brings them
Yeah, like
joy.
I wouldn't do it.
Same, but it still made me laugh. It was just such a Scheana moment. So, okay. Emo night. Anything else?
No.
Okay.
IVs.
Whoa. IVs after a night of partying. That's for the rich.
Yeah, sounds nice.
Yeah, versus just like puking in your toilet and trying to eat, like.
I would take a bag of vitamins and electrolytes.
Absolutely. Not a whole lot there, but then Tom going to talk to Lisa.
Yeah. So she's at Pump. They're
closing.
They're packing everything up.
Yeah. That was sort of like a heavy scene all around. Like Lisa's already feeling like unsure about her decision to close Pump. And Scandoval comes with a beautiful arrangement of flowers. And this conversation was...
I'm so surprised that Tom reacted the way he did to Lisa.
Yeah.
Lisa's basically telling him, like, if you really want to move forward with the group, then you need to be able to come equipped with, like, contrition and you need to be sensitive and you need to give people time to heal and you need to be more understanding. She's basically saying, like, you need to have more heart for, like, what other people are experiencing.
And to be patient. And, Tom did apologize, but also, like we were talking about, he's not done anything action-wise to show that he's sorry.
Yeah, you say you're sorry. Okay, that's the starting point. But then everything you do after you say you're sorry is a part of that apology,
and
right?
It has to reflect that you are sorry.
Yeah.
And Tom has just not done that. And he's just completely unwilling to recognize how deep the hurt is and how, like, that kind of betrayal is going to take time to recover from. It's not the usual, oh, I'm sorry, and then we move along.
And if you're not acting differently, why should people feel less hurt by you?
Yeah, and I think that that's a real clincher too, right? As Tom continues to be Tom. And if Tom is just so consistent, then Tom is capable of betrayal again. He's not showing actual remorse. He's not showing that he's not going to do that again. In fact, he's just being his consistent, usual self that he's been for the last however many years. So it doesn't surprise me people are reluctant to believe him and that this is a real uphill battle for him. But clearly, this is maybe one of the hardest things Tom's ever had to do.
So Lisa is kind of holding his feet to the fire and being like, you need to show up if you want to have these relationships. And he cannot handle it.
No, he got really
yelling at her.
Ragey. Yeah, that was
so defensive.
Upsetting. And then he finally confesses that he has had suicidal thoughts. And Lisa lost her brother to suicide. And that was really hard for her. That was heartbreaking for both of them. I mean, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge, like, Tom feeling that way is devastating. And you don't ever want anybody to feel that. And I think that the grief of losing his friend, coupled with losing all of his other friends and not having a support system in a time where he really needs it.
And the media, like, burying him.
Yeah. And, that's rough.
Yeah, like, I can compartmentalize that and see how dark that is and how that would be really heavy and hard to get through. Like, as much as I dislike him and his actions, that would be really hard.
Yeah, it would. And, and I move with caution here as I talk about this, but to me, with Tom, part of this too is if he had built up resiliency, if he had built up better relationships and not just been so consistently him and have this all blow up in his face, he would be better equipped.
Yes.
To handle the shit, at least regarding the affair. And he might then have people might not have abandoned him.
Yeah.
When he also really needed people. And I think it's rich that he is really upset with Rachel for being in this care facility, getting help for her mental health. And he's mad at her for that. And yet he also really needs to go get legitimate help. He should be doing the same thing.
Totally.
And also recognizing that he needs people in his life, and the thing to do is not shove them away by denying and refusing and deflecting and projecting. Like,
yeah, like him being mad that he hadn't heard from her on his birthday. Just the way he continues to like paint Rachel in this season while she's away.
Yeah, it's gross, and even more so like alarming when he clearly needs similar help. Like, he understands the impact of their decision and yet can't even empathize with what Rachel's doing.
And now he's making himself, like, out of the two of them, because they already tried to make them, both of themselves, the victim in this situation initially when it came out, right?
Right.
But now he's making himself the victim out of Rachel and himself. Like, oh, Rachel left. She doesn't care. She doesn't care it's my birthday. She's not checking in on me. I can only talk to her when it's on her terms. When it's like, you should actually be grateful that she's somewhere that is going to help her process and heal from all of this. And if you actually loved her and were invested in a relationship with her, it would in turn make your relationship healthier and better.
Yeah, and be inspired by that, Tom. Be inspired that she's taking steps to get healthy, to do what she needs to do to continue trucking forward. And so it's just shocking to see Tom, I guess, handle this in like all the wrong ways, and how devastating it, like the effect of just all of that is sad.
I'm curious to know if we will see the breakdown of when Tom and Rachel stop being in a hypothetical relationship.
Yeah, because that so far sort of, at least as we understand it right now, they are kind of trying to make it work at this point in the season. Yeah.
Yeah, Tom's still saying he loves her. They're still in touch with each other.
Yeah. I'm glad that she's talked about this on her podcast. I'm a few episodes behind, but she recognizes now, like, that also was not good for her. And the way that Tom behaved towards her was really manipulative and not good.
Yeah.
So that was really tough.
Somehow the scene ends with Tom saying that he's going to try.
Yeah.
To do better and maintain these relationships with the friend group.
I guess if anybody can get through to him, it's Mama Bear Lisa.
Maybe.
Yeah, I guess that's true. We'll see. Time will tell.
I mean, Lisa protects Tom and way more than she should. She also protects men way more than she should.
She really does.
Which is a bummer. So I'm not surprised, but I also hope that, like, I'm glad that she said what she said to Tom.
Me too. Tom needed to hear it. And I'm glad that she didn't completely kowtow to him.
Yeah.
That is at least some silver lining.
All right. We also have a scene where Tom Schwartz comes to talk to Lisa.
Ugh.
Gosh, you guys, this episode's so heavy.
Yeah. So that he brings up how his brother is not doing well. Bert has cirrhosis of the liver.
He's in rehab for the third time
for heavy alcohol use. As a result, what was the catalyst for that?
He said his brother got jumped outside of a bar and had never been the same since.
That is also heartbreaking. To have such a traumatic moment and
never recover
from it. Wow. That's brutal.
And Schwartz has alluded to, I think his dad also was like diagnosed with cancer during this time and was going through chemo. There's a lot of stuff going on in Schwartz's personal life amidst the scandoval of it all.
Yeah.
And, Schwartz is also post-divorce. I will say that this, despite my attitude towards Schwartz as a person, he's going through a lot, and it's very evident this season.
It is. And it makes me wish that both Schwartz and Sandoval had done any work on themselves.
Oh, for sure.
Prior to now. Like, they shouldn't be behaving the way that they are at 40-something years old. And it's like, damn, you guys would have a lot better coping skills had you not been such assholes for the last 15 years.
Yep.
And it's not to say that what they're going through isn't hard, but I think they themselves would be able to weather these hardships for themselves better.
In a healthier way.
In a healthier way, yeah. Ooh.
So he's talking to Lisa about that, and then Lisa is telling him about how they're opening a new Vanderpump restaurant in Tahoe, and which sounds awesome. Let's go to Lake Tahoe.
Please.
So Tom Schwartz casually invites himself, and she's like, yes, come, like, bring everybody, which leads us to the night at Sir. Everyone decides to show up to Sir for See You Next Tuesday.
Including Sandoval.
Yes.
Woo. One thing really quick that I want to touch on that Lisa and Schwartz talked about. No, you're totally fine. Because this is sort of like, I think, a key piece to like Schwartz feeling so bold to go invite everybody to go to Tahoe. Lisa basically saying like, it's clear Ariana's moved on.
Oh.
And I was like,
is it though?
Ariana has not moved on.
I was like, is that what has happened? Just because she's taking advantage of brand deals and living her best new life doesn't mean that she still isn't fucked up and hurt and healing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It's going to take her years of therapy to move past what Tom did.
Like both things can be true.
Yeah, and this is something that she talks about in the after show, Ariana, is she's getting a lot of shit for working. And I think people forget that, like, even though she's getting these deals, it's not like she's just getting sent free stuff for nothing. Like, she's having to film ads. She's participating in the work and getting paid to work. And given now sort of the uncertainty of her future, she's not wrong for capitalizing on all of this and for her ability to put money aside, save, do what she's got to do, because she thought she had a double income, a partner to help with all of this, and she does not anymore. So it's weird that, like, her working is being viewed as moving on.
Also, everyone processes grief differently.
Absolutely.
Some people need to stay in bed for 3 months, and some people need to just move. And, you know, and there's also room in between. But I'm just saying the way that someone navigates grief does not make it wrong if it's different from the way you would do it.
Yeah, we don't get to judge how people grieve.
I will say that when I'm depressed, I sometimes have a tendency to overbook myself. And it's almost because I don't want the time to sit down and be present with my emotions.
Yeah.
And yes, I can see that is maybe not the healthiest way to do it all the time, but I do know that that's how I tend to, like, escape my issues.
I don't think, and maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I mean, I don't think how you manage grief is ever like, it takes time before you can reach a healthy space of being able to process grief. Yeah. It really does, because I don't think at this point Ariana's had any time to really even fully accept what has happened. And it takes time. It's one of those weird things where grief can hit you a lot later, right, too. And so,
well, out of self-preservation, she's going forward.
Exactly. And what else is she supposed to do, Lisa?
I don't know.
So I don't know. That really bugged me. And it sort of like emboldened Tom, I think, to go into this next conversation, which is really where Tom loses me forever, I think. Sitting down with everybody.
And checking her ego. Yeah, let's get to Sir. So James Kennedy is DJing See You Next Tuesday. Old school throwback. Well, I think he does See You Next Tuesday most seasons, but it is a staple of the show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having everyone at Sir was kind of wild.
Right? That was fun. I was like, woo, we're back to our roots.
So the whole group is together except for Sandoval came with, is it Kyle Chan he was with? Okay. So they walk in after separately and are sitting at a different table. And Tom brings up to the group his conversation with Lisa and that he wants to invite everyone to Tahoe.
And the awkward pregnant pause of like,
everyone?
She's like, yeah, including Tom.
No, she said, including you know who.
Oh, is that what he said?
Tom's Voldemort now.
No? That's fitting.
And everyone's just kind of like, what?
Yeah. This conversation sent me because Ariana is just done with Schwartz. His people pleasing, his nice guy act. Like, no, she has set a boundary. she's right to have this boundary of like this person that I thought I could trust who literally ultimately betrayed me. I do not want him around.
I
and
don't
if
have to
he
spend
is,
time with him.
if he's going to be around, I'm not going to be around. And if others choose to not be around him as well, that is their choice. And it's pretty clear by the conversation that he then has, that Sandoval has with Scheana, like, this isn't Ariana's doing. Tom has done this to himself. Everybody is in agreement. They don't want Sandoval around. The way Tom talked to James.
Yeah.
James doesn't want fucking Sandoval around. It's not Ariana. It's Tom.
Yeah. So don't use Ariana as an excuse
Yeah.
for Tom being the divisive one.
Right. It's like, it's making it Ariana's fault. And Tom in the after show were disgusting talking about this. Schwartz was like, I definitely had to check her ego there. She needed to have her ego checked. And then Tom, trying his best, I guess, he's like, doesn't excuse what I did, but I just want to be clear. This is the Ariana that I deal with behind closed doors. This is how it's like. And it's like, oh, she won't take your bullshit. She's not going to like, get out of here. Like, I'm sorry. So she also protects Tom by never having arguments with him on camera. So they have tiffs behind camera, and Tom views that as duplicitous, which doesn't make any sense to me. And also, yeah, she's done with your shit.
She doesn't have to put up with you anymore.
No. And it's just wild to me that Tom also can't see that he is the problem.
It's so exhausting that any chance Sandoval has to throw Ariana under the bus, he will.
Yeah, as a reminder, like, oh, by the way, there's a reason I cheated. Well, fuck you. Leave the relationship if she's that awful.
Yeah.
Why are you fertilizing her eggs? Why are you doing all of these things with her?
You're not protecting her by lying to her.
No, and that's just an excuse. He is just full of excuses.
Tom is the victim of that relationship, Jess. He just really...
I know. Silly me.
He was really small, and Ariana was really abusive, and he had no other option but to have an affair and lie to her.
Correct. So that was an awkward conversation to watch Tom like hash out.
Oh, yeah. Because they're just like getting each other off, being like, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Fuck
Sandoval
Ariana.
is dumb. Schwartz is also dumb. They're just so incapable of really, I don't know. Their EQ is probably negative something.
So Ariana basically is like, yeah, I don't have to be around him. I'm not going to do that. And Tom makes some comment about her being queen of the group.
Yeah, she just, in response to that in the after show, she says, okay. And then Lala and James jump in and they're like, fuck yeah, she's queen of the group right now. Every year there's a queen of the group and it's Ariana now. And Scheana. Yeah, there is always a queen of the group. I've never been queen of the group ever. Not once, never. But I always follow the queen.
Which is bullshit. We've had so many seasons where Scheana has been queen of the group. When she's gotten married, and then when she got married again.
Yeah.
And then when she was going through divorce and was trying to be married to Rob.
Yeah. Scheana has had her moments, and it's not now, and she's just going to have to get over
just
that.
Sit down.
Oh,
Stop.
Scheana is so cringy. I could not with that. But I also want to say I appreciate Lala letting Schwartz know that Tom Sandoval will also devastate him. And I think that that is a really good thing for Tom to internalize because, like, he's wrong to make this all Ariana's fault. Tom has put himself in this situation because he has been a bad friend to everybody, including Schwartz, by putting him in the situation that he did, asking him to lie. Tom Sandoval is not a good friend, and he's not a good friend to Schwartz. And I understand sometimes you can get confused by somebody like just kind of sticking with you as like loyalty, but like what is loyalty if there's no substance?
Sandoval is constantly manipulating Schwartz.
Right. Yes. And I'm glad Lala called it out, and I don't want something bad to happen to Schwartz at the hands of Tom Sandoval, but like it really is inevitable.
Yeah.
One could argue it's already happened. Like, why is Schwartz in this situation? He has an inroads to be friends with his friends, and he's choosing the manipulative asshole.
Yep.
Ugh. I hated it.
So then we get a very iconic moment.
Oh, yeah.
Sandoval asks Scheana if she's open to having a conversation with them, and they go to the back alley of Sir.
Well, because Scheana's like, not in
here.
public.
Which, did you notice how many loud places they filmed this episode?
Yeah.
Like, Sir was loud, the restaurant that Katie and Scheana had a conversation was loud, Emo Night was loud. Everything was loud. So yeah, she's like, not here. They go to the back alley of Sir, and I don't know. I was just like, yes, an iconic moment. Like, this is where it all happens.
Yeah. Also weird that Tom brings out a drink for her, a vodka tonic, and she's like, oh, I'm not drinking. And he's like, I had a feeling you weren't drinking. Like, what?
Okay.
Thanks, Tom.
Also, Tom also isn't drinking. So why did he bring her out a drink? I don't know. Whatever.
He's
Maybe it's like it's like a peace offering.
Yeah.
So initially he's like telling her she looks good and likes her glasses, and they have like this little bantery moment where it feels like kind of like they are friends.
Yeah. They're getting off on their Y2K looks together.
Yeah, and then it dissolves to Scheana feels like Tom should have known that when she reached out about a lead that she was doing that with sincerity, and that she feels like he never really apologized to her. And it did show the scene where he was apologizing to her inside of her house and he's crying, which is so interesting how many people got a heartfelt apology that weren't Ariana in hindsight.
Seriously.
But again, apologies are more than just crying and saying you're sorry. And obviously their friendship has dissolved in the aftermath of the affair.
Well, yeah, and I think it's really easy for Tom to say he's sorry when he's faced with all the things he's losing. And then, like we keep talking about, has done nothing to show that he's actually sorry. He's just mad that he actually lost things in this, including his friendship with Scheana.
And, I mean, I also don't really blame Tom for being frustrated with how much Scheana was utilizing him to make $1. So, like, I see both sides of it.
I just think Sandoval doesn't have a leg to stand on and maybe needs to be a little more gracious.
Yeah,
in
for
accepting.
sure. Especially if he wants to actually build a friendship with Scheana again, right?
Yeah, it comes back to the old, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy?
He wants to be right.
He does,
There's no question.
He's too dumb to be right. So he's just got to drop it and try and be happy. I think that's his only path forward. I know. Mandy's grimacing hard. That's not going to happen. It's sad to watch where things are going for Sandoval. It's his own making, but it doesn't make it easier.
I also just like the fact that Sheena's so hung up on this fact that he blocked her. Like, so fucking what? I have blocked people in my life, not because I don't love them and care about them, but because I can't handle you right now.
Yeah, sometimes social media is wild. I understand that, like, it feels offensive, but you have to remember it's like another facet or another window of your life. Like, we do exist in social media. And sometimes that means you can't have that proximity to people.
Yeah,
it's
like
too
maybe
painful.
I just need a boundary.
Yeah, it's too hard. You want to be able to post things without somebody else taking it and running with it. Whatever the reason is, like, you have to respect that. It just is what it is. And I think that is a weird societal thing where we expect that we should have access to people in social media no matter what, and they shouldn't be blocking us, but they can. I've been blocked. It's okay. I respect it.
Like, I'm just saying, of all the things for Scheana to
hang on
to, it's like, who gives a fuck if he blocked you? This is about a bigger issue.
Yeah. This is more than Instagram, okay?
If I was Tom and my name was in your mouth every other word, I would block you too.
Absolutely. Yeah, Scheana doesn't always win. So I get Tom's frustration, but I also really understand Sheena's.
Yeah.
It's a hard conversation. I think both people have to be a lot more willing to come to the table and talk. And of the two, it does seem like Scheana is willing and Tom is not.
Yeah. He still is pretty defensive. And, I think he can communicate, like, I blocked you for these reasons. I was really struggling. I was really hurt. But in the end, like, I am sorry and I want to rebuild this friendship with you. Like, that kind of dialogue is what needs to happen.
Right.
Not just like, well, you were hurting me and I was in a really dark place and yeah.
Right. And I don't remember who said it, but like Scheana does have heart. She does. I mean, she's trying. And it doesn't feel like Tom is.
Scheana is the most likely to swing back to someone and be their friend.
Yeah, Tom really needs to remember that too, that Scheana is somebody that would forgive him. But like, that's how bad it is that he's making her this upset.
Yeah.
I love that she called him a narcissist.
Oh God. And then his response was, that I'm not a narcissist, look it up. And then she says something else and he's like, but Lala is one.
And she goes, well, she's not. That's offensive. And just like walks off. Like, did not even miss a beat. I fucking love that. I was so team Scheana in that moment.
I think it's pretty safe to say that Lala and Sandoval will probably never be on good terms.
No.
They're like oil and water at this point.
Absolutely.
Which is fine.
Yeah, they can be. Yeah, wow. What a conversation. Tom looked really sad at the end of all of that. No one to blame but himself.
I will just say, and I know last week I touched on the fact that like this season has a very different vibe to it. It maybe feels like it could or should be the last season. But thus far, this season has been fucking heavy. And it hasn't
really
it hasn't been fun. I understand that this is like the aftermath of something really traumatic and divisive. And so that's what we're in for. But man, like, it's not really the like lighthearted escapism that you sometimes get from reality TV. It's like,
for sure.
like, this is heavy. Nobody really wants to spend time with each other. And they have to get creative of how they even film this show at this point.
Yeah. And you texted me and I really appreciated the suicide trigger warning. You said that and I just like, I don't know. I took it in and I was like, okay, noted, like be prepared for this. But then I guess I was really unprepared for it being Tom. And yeah, the show ending with the hotline, if you're in crisis, was like tough.
Yeah.
That's pretty sad. That's brutal. And I think that, yeah, this has been a very raw season. So, ooh.
I will just say, I understand cast members left the show and they should have left the show, you know, like Kristen and Stassi needed to leave based on like the allegations with what happened with Faith. I don't actually remember why Jax and Brittany left the show. Do you know?
I don't know. I think they
Just chose to leave the show.
I think something.
I don't think it was like really controversial.
No, I think they just stopped filming. Like,
And since then the show did try to bring in a couple new people and it failed. But I don't think the show has quite recovered from losing a chunk of the cast.
no. Also, I thought it was, you know, you've brought this up that it feels a lot more produced in the after show. Tom was really upset about, I can't remember exactly how, like the context in which it came up, but, why Rachel doesn't like him anymore. And Rachel's parents, a surprise to no one, don't like Tom.
Yeah.
Why would they?
Yeah, obviously.
You know, Tom's pretty clearly a loser. And then it didn't help in his mind that Rachel's PR person was perpetually worried about optics. And Tom could not.
Isn't that a PR person's job to be worried about optics?
But I thought it was interesting, one, that we were talking about these people having PR folks. Like, that's kind of a real break of the fourth wall, I think.
Yeah.
For this show particularly. But fascinating to me that still, despite Tom feeling all of these things, just like is incapable of recognizing the importance of optics and like maybe trying to soften the blow of the public. And being upset with Rachel for this too, of again, like she's trying to go into self-preservation mode and to get by. And even though Tom knows how bad all of it feels, he still can't comprehend why she's doing this. Like he still can't empathize with her at all. And that's scary to me. Like Tom is somebody who just really is showing a lack of like emotional response to people that he supposedly cares about. And that's wild.
A lot of people aren't naturally empathetic, but you can learn to be more empathetic. That is a skill that you can work on.
Yeah.
And it's uncomfortable and it's weird. And, you know, just like any other skill that we have to work on, like for me, setting boundaries, uncomfortable. But you can learn to put yourself in someone else's shoes and try to understand what they would be feeling and why in a moment.
I think especially when the opportunity presents itself when you have fucked up royally. This is a good time to start learning new skills and figure out how to move forward differently. And Tom is not doing that. It's bananas to me. He is not well.
I wonder what Tom's parents are like.
Well, his mom is a firefighter and lovely, and she gave him all that money that they put into Schwartz and Sandy's.
I know. I'm just like wondering, like, what was modeled to him to make him think that this is like how you solve problems.
Yeah.
And I'm not blaming his parents, but I'm saying like,
well, sure, we all take some of what that matters.
And if you never do the work to understand why you react to something or unlearn certain behaviors, you kind of just stay the same, right?
Yeah.
Or become like more exaggerated versions of ourselves as we age.
Yeah. And
Anyways.
It's a good question.
Guys, it's heavy. I'm still going to watch it, but
of course we are.
God. Okay, Bachelor?
I just want to get this out before I forget to say it.
Okay.
These 2 episodes were so beautifully shot. There were some like really incredible scenes. I'm like, wow, somebody's really pouring their heart and soul into like I don't know the right word for it, but like the cinematography, the music.
Yeah. They're leveling up.
They are. I'm surprised. I'm also having a ton of fun.
We have a more beautiful Bachelor. We have a more beautiful shot season.
Yeah.
We have beautiful ladies.
We're winning. Just so good. So we're going to go on
Malta.
Yeah, international travel.
Finally.
They have a really cool weightlifter that goes to the Olympics.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I can't remember her name off the top of my head. Jasmine, I can't remember. But anyway, I'll look her up if anybody's interested. She is very cool. So go Malta. And Malta's stunning. Like, what a beautiful, beautiful place.
Yeah, I would go.
Same.
I like when Jesse announced Malta, I knew that certain women didn't know where it was. And I love that Autumn in her ITM was like, Malta's in Europe, right?
I noted that too. Yeah, I feel that. That's hard. Geography's never been my strong suit either.
Because sometimes they're just like, yeah. And then later they're like, wait, where is this place we're going?
Yeah, they don't know. But
so we start with a one-on-one date. Lexi is going to explore Malta with Joey. I think these are the best dates because this is actually what you would be doing in a foreign country with your
walk around and see all the things
with your boyfriend, like eating the food, seeing the sights. She has that touching moment in the church and talks about her grandfather.
That was really sweet. I was really mad at that priest for being like, kids complete a marriage. Like, oh, buddy.
Yeah, that's hard.
Why did no one tell the priest not to say that?
Or did they tell him to say that?
Ew, they better not have. That will make me mad. That's so
hard not to wonder.
Like, women should not be reduced to their ability to give birth as like a tenet of being a successful woman or having a successful marriage because it looks different for everybody.
Yeah.
Like, get out of here with that. That irked me a little bit, but it's fine.
And then they go out to dinner and Lexi opens up about being in stage 5
endometriosis.
Thank you. I have a hard time remembering words.
No, that's okay. That one kind of stuck with me. And like she described the way that tissue like grows all over your other organs.
Lungs.
Oh, poor Lexi. That just seems.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. And it's a lot. You know, motherhood is never something. Like, I think it's called to me, but maybe if I'm being honest, just because it always felt like that's what I should do. But I've never felt like in the depths of my soul that like I'm bound to be a mother. But I recognize that women do feel that. And if like that's important to Lexi, that is a really, really heavy blow.
Yeah.
That would be, I mean, and then flash forward to Joey talking about kids' names with Daisy, I was kind of like, oh, this is a guy that wants kids.
Yeah, for sure.
So that was rough. That broke my heart for Lexi.
And I do think as much as we hate on the trauma dumping in this show. This is actually a conversation that you probably should have sooner rather than later, because you don't want to fall in love with someone and then have them say, like, I only want to be with someone who wants to start a family with me. And Lexi wants to start a family, but she might not be able to. And you never know how someone's going to respond to that.
Yeah, you're right. That's a very good point. This is the one where it's like, this does make sense to have this conversation now.
And some people aren't open to adoption. Some people aren't open to the other ways. And so, unfortunately, I think that is a logistical thing you have to figure out before you can move too far forward in a relationship.
Yeah, and I think, well, kids generally are a really good thing to have a conversation about. But then, the inability to have them equally so, like that, I felt for both of them in that moment, because clearly Lexi's experienced somebody leaving her as a result of this. And that's hard.
Heartbreaking.
It is heartbreaking. And, for Joey to also have to process this, like, that's probably, I don't know. I don't know how common it is for women to know that they can't have kids, but like, I'm sure Joey wasn't expecting having to like grapple with that at this moment. So like, that probably was also like a little bit of a step, not a step back, but like just him being taken aback by that. Like, whoa, now I have to think about this. So that's a heavy, heavy topic.
Yeah, I thought he navigated it well, and they're obviously moving forward. What are your feelings on Lexi in general?
I love Lexi. I think it's kind of weird that we aren't getting to know Joey as much. And I feel like maybe I've had this complaint before where it just doesn't feel like as much of a like back and forth. Like Joey is just being a really engaged listener.
That's kind of how it usually works, unfortunately, with the lead.
Okay. But Lexi's in love.
Yeah. I like Lexi. She's obviously super beautiful. Super smart. There's something about her that I can't get a read on. And I don't know if it's just because she's protecting herself and putting forth like a very specific image. I don't know. It's almost like there's something there that I'm not quite getting yet. And maybe we'll see more of it as the show goes on. But I think she's like a little bit guarded.
Yeah. I find that to be a very normal response. I'm always shocked when people are like, here's everything. Yeah. And like, I'm that way, but it definitely comes with like, you've got to be aware that you're doing that. So like when women are guarded, I feel you. It's hard to get a read, but also it makes sense because
I'm not faulting her for it.
No.
I just say in comparison to some of the other women, she seems more guarded.
Yeah. And maybe not to say, I don't want to prioritize and like play the suffering Olympics, but I do think with Lexi, having a partner leave her for the reasons that they left her is like, that's a really adult hard moment when, the heartache and the heartbreak and all of this that comes is for almost like the partner wasn't wrong for leaving. Like if that isn't something that they could overcome, they get to leave. And I don't know, that story just feels a little bit different in relation to like cheating partners or other things, because the heaviness of not being able to have children is like, it just is. That is a thing. And so I think maybe for her, she probably is like extra guarded because she's experienced real heartbreak over something that is completely just out of her control and hard for her too. So I don't know. But yeah, that's a good point. She is reserved.
Maybe she'll, now that she's had that conversation and feels safer with him, we'll see a different Lexi moving forward.
That would be cool.
Because that's fair to not know how things are going to go until you tell that very heavy truth and how that's going to be received.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be a hard one to hold on to.
Okay, group date.
Game of Thrones.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay. This was so weird to me. They're all in night clothes and Joey comes out in like a Roman gladiator, no shirt on.
Yeah, he definitely had less clothes on, which didn't make any sense.
No, and that's like the second time that this has happened. I think the tennis date, he came running out without a shirt on and he was like, whoa, you guys all have a lot more on than I do. I'm just gonna.
No, I think it was the capture Joey's heart boot camp date.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
So
like,
shirt on.
He wasn't even working out. Well, he did. He did end up working out. But yeah, that, I don't know. It kind of bugs me. I've been thinking about this. I think with feminism, we don't want feminism that's like replicating what the guys do. We don't want that. We don't want to participate in capitalism and over-sexual, like, and it goes the other way too. Like, feminism isn't hypersexualizing men either. Like, that's not the move. And Joey had a funny quip about being
fun-sized bachelor,
which is witty and funny, and I can appreciate that. But also, like, Joey's gorgeous. His body's fine.
Yeah.
However men show up.
I would never describe him as fun-size.
No. And, like, that's really, or, you know, so it's just, I hate the way that the show sometimes, and they did it with Clayton too, where they just, like, chip away at these guys a little bit with
and
their bodies.
Insecurities.
Yeah. And just, like, just because it's a guy doesn't make it okay. Like, we need to move away from that.
Well, Clayton had major body image issues.
I know. And they still made him run around in his underwear.
I think, here's the thing. If a guy wants to take his shirt off and feels, like, confident with his shirt off, then fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
But if it's the producer's idea that Joey shows up at this date without a shirt on and Joey's like, I'm
going to put this back on.
It's not as fun if they're just doing it because they feel like it's the production team's idea.
Right. Like, yeah, exactly. Let everybody establish their own level of comfort.
Yeah, like, if you want to show your body, show your body. But you shouldn't feel like you have to be objectified if it's not your idea.
Exactly. So, I don't know. That kind of has just been sitting with me and bugging me. And I think I've been a little flippant about it in the past and just being like, who cares that the men have to be in their underwear? But as I come around and think about this, it's like, yeah, but we shouldn't be forcing them because, like, this isn't the equality. This isn't the move we think it is.
We wouldn't do this with women, so why are we doing it with men?
Yeah, we want to move away from this objectification or forcing people to be in uncomfortable situations, especially around their bodies and, like, almost complete nudity in some cases.
Which is why Paradise is nice, because people can be as naked or clothed as they want to be, and it's really just dependent on their comfort levels.
Yeah, that, right. And no, yep. I like that. So anyway, put that out of the way.
No, that's fair. And that's something the show could do better at, especially with, like, you know, the competitive men team dates where it's like half the guys are super muscular and the less muscular guys are feeling insecure about not wearing any clothes.
Yeah.
It just puts people in awkward
or
positions.
having to stuff their shorts or their Speedos. I hate that for them.
Yeah.
No, none of that.
Let's not do it.
Yeah. We like all bodies. So the date is pretty fun, I guess. The meat, what do they call it? The sausage wheel.
I will say that the two people hosting it were pretty hilarious. Like, the big soldier guy being like, we're going to do lots of things. Or,
yeah.
I don't remember what he said, but I was like, this guy.
I love that he, like, squeezes past all the meat and cheese, and they were all kind of like, oh, he's getting in there. And then he's the one spinning the meat and cheese. Also, Allison cracked me up. Just like,
I definitely cheated.
Right out of the gate. That thing started spinning and she just reaches out, doesn't even look with one hand, and just, like, grabs that sausage and is like, done. She's like, boundaries.
I'm sorry, but huge shout out to Joy for saying, like, I'm going to do it too. I'm not making the women do something I wouldn't do. Like, way to get in there.
I know. I just watching sausage after sausage smack their hair, smack their faces.
And, like, wet sausages.
Right. Like, well, but have you held a log of cured meat? Yeah. They would, like, give them a concussion if they were swinging cured meat around. So I agree.
The idea of, like, moist meat.
Oh, is gross. I'm with you. It's repulsive. I also would not participate. I have a hard enough time eating meat. Getting smacked in the face with it would just ruin me for life. And I have to eat meat. So
yeah,
it was too much. I hated it, but props to Joey, and, you know, Autumn really gave it a go.
I'm not a huge Autumn fan, but she really she went for it.
Dude, when she had that string in her teeth, she should have just yoinked that thing out with her, because I'm like, you caught the string with your mouth?
I was worried.
You win.
I was worried the string was going to, like, rip her teeth out.
Or, like, I don't know. I've gotten rope burn before. I would not be holding rope in my mouth. Like, nobody should do that, FYI, especially if that rope is being pulled around by a beefy guy. Get that rope out of your mouth. You don't need that.
Oh, stressful. Anyway,
Very.
Autumn wins the night title, right?
Yep.
She's knighted. She's Queen Knight. Obviously that didn't mean very much to Joey because she ends up leaving very soon afterwards. But
yeah, as we know, it really, man, I don't know what I think of this. Like, why do they do these competitions? Is this to like bring out personalities? Is this just to humiliate women? Like, and there's been multiple points in this season where they're like, excuse me, I won. I did better. Why did you choose this person?
so in the past, not all group dates are setting one person up to get more time. I feel like all of a sudden in this season, every group date is ending with, oh, whoever wins gets more time with Joey.
Right, because I remember Ari's season, the bowling match.
And didn't he keep both teams?
Well, yeah, the one team got the thing, but then, yeah, he decided to keep both teams. But it wasn't one woman on the winning team.
I know.
Yeah, so yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, you're right. It is seemingly just this season
Like
that this
with
is
the
new.
team thing, it's usually the winning team gets more time. But this whole season, it's been one person.
Mm-hmm. Which is weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, that one woman, unless Joey's really into her, isn't winning.
They're also still having the cocktail party afterwards. So
Yeah.
it's not like they're getting the evening portion of the date, which sometimes happens.
That would make more sense
Yeah.
to me. Like, that would be more worth catching a string with a wet sausage at the end of it in my mouth.
Yeah, because you'd get a whole evening.
Basically like a half a one-on-one, which is huge.
Yeah, this one they're just getting like, oh, let's just go roll around and paint by ourselves, or let's go stand in this corner
Yeah,
and talk.
how long did Autumn and he stand there? 10, 20 minutes?
I
Like,
don't
what?
know.
Yeah, weird. An hour. They're like, okay, see you in 40.
Also, did Joey pick Autumn or did the Knights pick Autumn?
It seems like the Knights picked Autumn.
Okay.
I don't know. That's how I read it.
Anyways, let's get to the real meat of this episode.
Yeah.
The 2-on-1. Dun dun dun.
Ooh. Yeah. That was terrible.
I just want to say, you can tell how much these women dislike each other based on how different their outfits were for this date. Maria
oh my
showed
God,
up-
yes.
Maria showed up in this like body-fitting yellow swimsuit cover dress that has plunged neckline, super glamorous, and Sydney's in jean shorts, a tank top, and a cover-up. Both outfits were very cute, but I'm saying women communicate about fashion. It's like, what are you going to wear?
Right,
wanna
I don't want to
make
show up that like wearing something out of pocket compared to what you're wearing.
Yeah, like both outfits were fine, but they were totally different vibes.
Very. I could not handle Sydney pouting the
Oh my
whole
God.
time. That like just showed me how much she really doesn't give a shit about Joey. She wants to be right. She wants to win. She wants to stick it to Maria. She does not care about Joey. So the way too that they both like handled that date, and I know that women could be manipulative and Maria could be just like putting on a complete show. But so far, Maria has been like very consistent and like trying to always bring it back to she's here for Joey.
Yes.
And I believe that. And this date like really reinforces that.
Well, Sydney is making everything about Maria, and Maria is trying to ask Joey, like, can we get past this?
Yeah, I thought that was such a good question. Like, that's the right thing because sometimes the leads can't get past it. Like, once you're pulled into drama, depending on how it goes, like, you've got so little time that's just going to be that.
Yeah. And so it's kind of hard not to see the discrepancy there of the intentions with their interactions with Joey. I also noticed something that when Joey sits down with Sydney one-on-one, he put his hand on her leg, and Sydney like had no body language towards like holding his hand, leaning into him. And I don't know, some people are more about physical touch than others. But when you're trying to utilize that very short moment to make a connection with someone, you should be prioritizing it to the fullest.
Absolutely.
And she was so absorbed with complaining about Maria and talking about how Maria was like mentally abusing her and bullying her and telling these lies about Maria that she almost like wasn't even really paying attention to Joey.
No, Joey was just an outlet for her to vent her frustration. She was dumping on him. And like, I know 2-on-1s are hard. I think they're shitty. I don't think they should happen.
Yeah.
I hate them in the show. But Sydney was a prime example of like how not to do this. Like, don't try to pull yourself out of that moment and engage with the person you're there for. If you really think that this could be your person, act like it.
Why is Joey giving you a rose?
Yeah. What connection has she had with him?
Well, and he even asks her, like, do you see us working out? And she's like, yeah, I'm doing all of this because of how much potential I see with us and that I can really see a future with us.
Yeah, that was at the dinner part, right?
Yeah.
That was so weird to me. Her response was just like automatic, no emotion behind it. That was weird. And I thought Maria's response was a lot more real and like, she's like, I don't know. There's unanswered questions for me right now. How do you feel about things? We need to talk more. I was like, that is so real right now.
Well,
like,
and also for Maria, if Joey is believing Sydney at all, it's like, do I want to be with you? If you really think like that these things are true, like, do I see a future with you?
right. And that is so missing, I think, from a lot of the conversations that women have with the Bachelor or vice versa is like, you get to have questions of the lead too. You get to wonder, like, am I somebody that you could see yourself with? Like, and I think Maria doing that is bold and absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
And Sydney goes home.
Like, thank God Joey saw through the bullshit. I had faith. I kind of knew that he was going to send her home, but thank God.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, there's no way. If for no other reason, his chemistry with Maria is like off the charts. There's no way. And there is like,
has he even kissed Sydney?
No.
Have we seen that?
They have, well,
I mean, maybe they have and they didn't show us.
It's possible, but,
because obviously he has a lot of interactions with the women that we don't get to see.
It's true. But at the same time, I would think that they would show that. There's a very lovely woman who does an Instagram account, has an Instagram account called Bachelor Data. Love it.
Oh yeah, we get a lot of
super
information
fun
from that.
Yeah, and Sydney has not been kissed. So,
okay. Well, that's really telling.
Yeah, and Joey and Maria kiss all the time.
I mean,
multiple times. I guess if you count, like,
we're like 4 episodes in at this point, right?
Yeah, 4. You're right. This is episode 4. So, yeah, this is like almost the halfway mark. If you haven't had a kiss, you don't have a connection. So at least, well, we got rid of Sydney. Bye. Yeah, that was great.
I learned something.
Okay.
Sydney got on the show because she is connected to Ashley I.
Oh.
Sydney's from Rhode Island. Ashley I lives in Rhode Island. And I haven't listened to any of Ashley I's response to the Sydney of it all, and I don't even know if Ashley I is like good friends with Sydney, but I think that is Sydney's connection to getting on the show.
Okay.
Nick Viall actually bought a pair of pants from her vintage shop when he went out to visit Ashley I and Jared before Sydney was on the show.
That's a fun fact.
And I will say, despite all of my feelings towards Sydney, when we did our guesses at the beginning, I said she was best dressed, and I really enjoyed her fashion.
That's good. Good. I agree. Her outfit of the two, while Maria's is smoking, and I wish, I know that I would be dressed like Sydney, and I would be delighted to be dressed like Sydney.
Yeah, and I thought her black, like, mini dress with the gold all over it was super cute.
With the heels, yeah. She's got good style.
But yeah, maybe I'll look into that a little bit more and see if I can find some information about the Ashley I part of it.
That sounds good. I initially, when that opera singer started singing Maria, was like, I felt for Maria. I was like, that's gotta be a little uncomfortable. But the show really won me over when that incredible opera song is playing while the producer goes in and takes Sydney's bag and all of the girls are watching. And I really think they are not all of them. Some of them are very jealous of Maria. So watching that transpire with that beautiful singer singing Maria and the suitcase going away was just...
I was a little surprised.
Gold to me.
I thought most of the women were more Team Maria than Team Sydney. And so I was like, wait, what's happening? Is there something they're not showing us? But then when you said that, I was like, okay, you're right. They probably do know that Maria has a stronger connection with Joey, and in the end, it's more of a threat.
Absolutely. And I think that's more of it. And you can't blame anybody for feeling that way because Maria is a babe. Her and Joey have such intense physical chemistry. Like, we aren't the only ones seeing that. And then add in Maria's confidence, the outfit change, backflips and splits. Like,
My question is, if Joey had given the rose to Sydney, what would the opera singer be singing? Because she can't just be up there like, Ave Maria. Sydney doesn't want to hear the name Maria when she's like having her moment with the
I
rose.
wondered that too. I was like, did they have like a backup song for something? Or that was beautiful, by the way. Way to belt that out.
I'm just saying, like, that would have fucked up the moment for Sydney.
Oh, I would have loved to see it. But yeah.
All right, so then we have the cocktail party, and man, this is where I feel like the drama candle is just getting lit on fire.
Boy, you throw a hot, confident woman into a mix of women who are probably used to being the most beautiful woman and also maybe lacking confidence.
Something about Sydney going home really triggered Leia. She was just like ready to go.
I kind of like imagine those Olympic relays and like Sydney is just hauling ass and then she gets to Leah and hands off the drama torch and Leah is just gone and is going to win this relay with the villain at it. Like that, the 180 of that, we go from throwing the date card in the fire to respecting Joey's journey to Leah doing the most villainous things.
I could not even comprehend her reasonings behind having that conversation with Medina. So basically, she's confronting Medina because Medina is being nice to Maria after Sydney goes home. And Leah's reasonings are, Sydney inserted herself on your behalf. And now she's gone, basically saying, because of you, and you're being nice to Maria. If you were a true friend, you would not be nice to Maria. It's like, that's what she's saying, right?
Yeah. And it's like,
And
fuck off.
Yeah, Medina's like, I don't have to be mean to Maria.
Because I'm friends with Sydney. Like, it's so smart of Medina to step back and just be like, you know what? I've known these people for 2 weeks, maybe at this point, 3 at most. Like, she doesn't need to go to bat for anybody. She doesn't need to risk her position with Joey for anybody right now. It is an individual thing. Like,
you can
come
also
on.
tell that Medina is not a very naturally confrontational person. She is
No.
quiet. She has no motive to like keep this drama going, even though she was originally the one that kind of, I don't know, she didn't even cause it. Sydney was the one that read into everything and made a thing out of it.
I mean, Maria was definitely shit talking a little, but like, she was talking.
She was.
Yeah, that's fair. I agree. I don't think she was like saying anything that really.
I don't think she's saying something she wouldn't say to Medina.
I agree. And that's probably the difference. She would say that to Medina. She did say that to Medina.
Right.
Yeah. So Leia.
I don't know. You started saying Leah, so I started saying Leah because I didn't know which one it was.
Yeah.
Leia.
Leia. Ariana.
I wanted to talk about that. Why can't people just fucking say it right?
I know. Why can't we just fucking say it right?
People aren't saying Mandy. It's Mandy or Mondi. There's a big difference. Ariana or Ariana?
Yeah. Leia. I think it's Leia.
It's Ariana.
Ariana. Okay.
Leia.
Like, I don't know. That was just, and the nerve of a 23-year-old to come up to a 31-year-old and be like, what are you doing? Be like, excuse me? I have like almost over a decade of life more than you.
And almost a foot of height.
Yeah. Yeah, that whole thing, I was just aghast. I just could not. That was terrible.
Leia is ablaze.
Yeah.
And then she goes on to have these ITMs saying, I hold my friends to really high standards. I tried to be as gentle as I could in that conversation.
Gentle as she could. That sent me. That just like, fuck off. Respectfully. Goodbye. Go figure your life out. Come talk to me in 10 years. Not now.
And then her saying she's happy that Maria stormed off in tears. Like, wow.
Okay. Which then, I don't know. Are we good to move to the next episode?
Yeah.
Leia being mad that Maria is still around. She's like, she wanted to go, then she should just go. And it's like,
She wanted to go because it's unhealthy house environment
that you are causing.
And now you're making it bad.
I
Again.
cannot believe that she continued that line of reasoning. Like,
Yeah, like, why is she here? She didn't even want to be here. Yeah, she didn't want to be here because of bullies like you.
Yeah. Whoa.
Stop.
Enough.
Stop it.
Yeah. So.
And all of this is really boiling down to the fact that Maria has a better connection and women feel insecure about it.
Yep. And then that's like, I hate that aspect of the show. I wish that women could recognize, like, you beating out somebody else does not mean that Joey's going to pick you. He's going to pick who he wants regardless of the internal competition that's happening. So knock it off.
So Nick Viall made a really interesting comment about this dynamic, and he said, usually the production team is on the side of the house, and the house kind of has like a mob mentality, right?
Yeah.
He said, this is the first season in a long time where you can tell that the production team isn't on the side of the house.
By the edit that Maria's getting?
Yes.
Mm.
And that's like not a normal thing.
Oh, that is a very interesting observation.
Because they could easily make Maria more of the villain in this situation,
Sure.
but they're not. And so it's creating a very interesting dynamic where you're seeing the women being threatened by Maria, but Maria's not getting the villain edit. And now the women are like crumbling and like starting to build up each other and become like they're collecting more and more bullies.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Whoa. That's a good observation. This is why we still listen to Nick Viall. He's got some really, insightful takes, I
Especially
feel like.
with like the production side.
Absolutely. I'm fascinated by that. That's good to know. Good observation, Nick. The rose ceremony.
Who goes home? Medina and...
No. It's Allison and
Oh.
Edwina.
Oh, yeah.
Edwina. Man,
Man.
I
liked Allison and Edwina.
I know. They both had good energy. I was really bummed about Edwina. I was like, really?
I know, she was trying so hard.
She was so into Joey.
She really
But
gave it her all.
I guess, too, I respect leads sometimes when they send home, like, maybe strategically recognizing that Edwina really was into him and he wasn't feeling it.
Yeah.
So in some ways, it's like a mercy to be like, I'm not going to lead you on. There are other women that I feel far more confident stringing along than you. So I hope that it's that, but I am sad for that.
Something else Nick pointed out is that Joey has not sent anyone home on a one-on-one.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I don't know if that's the people pleaser in Joey, which we know that Joey does have a past of maybe prioritizing other people's needs before his own.
Yep.
But he's maybe avoiding the discomfort of like sending someone home in that scenario.
Yeah.
Which honestly, though, if you think about it, I would rather be sent home on a one-on-one than in a rose ceremony.
Yeah, because you can sit down and like take a moment to debrief and be like, okay,
Yeah.
I understand. And he can like comfort you. And you don't have the shame of doing that in front of all the other women.
And you don't feel just like a number,
right.
Like, it was nice to meet you. See you
bye.
later.
Yeah, you get 2 seconds to get a hug and you're out of there.
I mean, I know it's rough, but I'm saying let's hypothetically say, because we just saw Rachel go on a one-on-one. I don't think Rachel and Joey have that much chemistry.
yeah, that makes me sad.
And
but
so
yeah,
was that the moment Rachel should go home, or do we want to see Rachel go home in a rose ceremony?
right. And that also goes back to as well, like being able to calculate how much the women like him versus how much he's into them. Rachel does feel like somebody who's really into Joey, and we're not seeing a reciprocal.
Yeah, Joey doesn't want to get his hands dirty, and I think that he's definitely avoiding that.
Ooh, it's gonna backfire.
All right. So now, second episode this week, episode 5.
Yeah, so that was the beginning of episode 5. The rose ceremony was at the beginning of that.
Okay.
Now they're in Spain, and Rachel's vest is everything.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. All of the women's fashion has been so good to me.
Yeah, great fashion.
I like it. He chooses Kelsey A to go off on the date.
Guys, sorry, I just think Kelsey A is going to win.
He does. He is, I mean, he says it. He is so smitten with Kelsey. And he has been. Like, from the beginning.
From the beginning.
Her beauty just, like, really drew him in. And it has been continuous.
But on this date, he's, like, asking her if she thinks she can get there at the end. Like, if this process is working for her. He also says, like, in every group date, like, I'm looking for you. And then I make eye contact and
you're looking at me. And, yeah. And I feel like Joey in this opens up a little bit more with her and the night portion than he does with the other women. And not like open up about himself, but it just feels like he's a little bit more concerned about this being a two-way street.
Yeah, he wants to make sure that they actually have a substantial connection.
Yeah. And her hair.
Oh my God.
Her
hair is magic.
It's so big and beautiful.
It's like Julia Roberts' hair from the 90s.
Yeah. Dude. And she is just head over heels for him too.
That's funny. So when she originally, I think he's asking her this is during the day portion, and maybe they're on the beach. He's like, do you think, in the end that you could see this process working for you? And I appreciated that she did approach that with a little bit of hesitation. And she's like, I don't know. I'm not falling, but I'm definitely tripping. And I thought that was really smart on her part to be like, I like you and I do feel the connection, but like, I feel like it's so common for women on these shows and men too, to be like, I see you as my wife. Like, I'm all in. Like, this is yes. Like, without even really knowing them, it's like, I'm here for this reason. You're the lead. You definitely are my husband or my wife.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. Kelsey T also had some real moments where it was like, that's the right response, to have some hesitation and to be a little reserved. I guess I'm just thinking at the end of the dinner, she like almost goes cross-eyed, like looking up. And she was like,
that's when she was like, I am falling. Oh my gosh. Okay. Stop it.
Right. But it is good that like she's got that hesitation.
Yeah.
And, felt maybe a little more reassured after she had a whole day with him and got that time. But nobody on the show is ever wrong for being like,
Yeah, every time that happens, it's refreshing, right? That these people are taking pause. They're questioning, is this person also right for me? It's not just about me being right for them.
Yes, I want more of that, especially from the women who I think will so often bend themselves just to wind up in a relationship because we as a society prioritize marriage way too highly to the point where women feel like they've got to become something in order to be marryable.
Partner.
Yeah. And like, honestly, fuck that. I know being alone isn't good either, but you also don't want to end up with somebody who you had to mold yourself into.
Yeah. You shouldn't lose yourself in order to function in a relationship.
No.
She shared the story of her mom.
Yeah.
That was really sad.
That is sad.
And I felt like Joey's response and comfort was top notch.
It was. Mom issues, man.
But I don't know, guys. I think this is my prediction. Joey proposes to Kelsey A and she says no.
Whoa.
That's my prediction of the weird ending.
I can't even like wrap my head around what the ending could be.
So I know. Who knows if it's right, but that's what I'm guessing.
Okay, well, we've got it on tape, so we'll come back and see if your prediction is right. What is next?
The way he looks at her, the way he touches her,
the way he says he's smitten with her.
He's like more insecure around her.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. You're so
reading the room.
Her.
That's a very good point. I like it.
Okay.
We move on to the group date.
So it was write one sentence that describes or summarizes your relationship with Joey and then paint something.
Yeah, I hate that they kept saying that this is a quote. And it's like, it's kind of, but like you are coming up with a sentence and then rendering it into art.
That's not a quote.
No, it's not a quote. But okay, whatever. We're playing the game.
Why did Jess win this?
Jess won it because she admitted what everybody else wants too, which is she drew a ring and a diamond ring together with diamonds sparkling in the background because she thinks Joey's the one. And I'm sorry, but this season, I feel like almost all the women think Joey is the one. They are all so...
Everyone's gunning for Joey.
Yes, they are so into Joey. Like, this is a very popular lead. I'm sorry, but Jess did not do anything. The painting wasn't particularly good. It wasn't very deep. It just sort of, like, for me, fell really flat. But I guess the woman... Who chose? Did Joey choose?
It's not clear. I don't know. I don't think Joey would have picked Jess.
And then how do you feel about the...
Again, it's like this one-off, like, okay, you win, so now have all the women see you guys in white swimming suits before you go roll around half naked with paint.
Yeah.
I don't know. And
I mean, they're both very attractive people.
Yeah,
So,
don't
like,
get me wrong.
fine,
I
I'll
did
watch.
write down that I thought that Brayden and Rachel on Paradise did the whole, like, body paint thing way sexier than Joey and Jess did.
I know that Brayden is hopefully happily engaged and moving towards a new life with Christina, but his and Rachel's chemistry was...
That was a spicy little paint moment.
It was. I loved that. And I will never get over how beautiful Rachel looked covered in paint with paint on her teeth. And I'm like, I would look like a fucking gremlin. That's amazing. I'm with you. They did it better. We don't need to repeat it ever again. Do you hear me, Bachelor production?
Yeah,
just don't.
They also did this date, I think, with Tayshia and Zach on Tayshia's season. I don't know. They'd recycle a lot of these dates, but it was a weird, like, yay, you won, and now go have a sexy paint moment, and then we're all gonna go to a cocktail party.
Yeah. Weird.
I think that because Jess got that time, she all of a sudden felt like she deserved the group date rose. And so then when she doesn't get the group date rose, that's how we wind up in this, cocktail party bullshit at the end of the episode.
Yeah. I agree.
Sorry, let's do the group cocktail party after the date, though.
Okay. I apologize. I was momentarily confusing Kelsey A. Kelsey A's mom died.
Yes.
Maria's got mom issues.
Yeah, so I guess at the cocktail party, Maria tells Joey that when she was 1, her and her mom were in a really, really bad car crash where basically a cement truck fell on her.
Yeah, I think this is still the date portion.
Yeah, the cocktail party of the date.
Of the date, okay, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Thanks, cool.
And so that she's kind of bringing in, like, this is why I approach everything with positivity, and I try to just enjoy the moment and be present because, like, you never know when something's going to drastically change. But basically, because of this car accident, it apparently really altered her mom, and her mom was not able to recover and be okay. And it sounds like she left.
Yeah.
Maria and her dad stayed in the marriage, but I don't know.
Yeah,
Obviously, there's like a lot of
I think there was some editing where Maria was just sort of giving us the too long didn't read version of what happened, and that's fine. She doesn't have to share anything additional. But yeah, it was a little unclear to me too exactly, but I like that she's saying that her mom thought Joey was attractive.
Yeah.
Cute. And that was good for Maria to take that opportunity to open up. That worked well.
That would be hard.
That would be hard.
I mean, I'm glad that her relationship with her mom is getting better, but that would be hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Agreed.
Then we have a one-on-one with, was there anything else? Oh, Maria gets a group date rose.
Which, yeah.
I kind of saw it coming.
Same. Joey is so into Maria.
I thought it was going to be Kelsey T or Maria, and it was Maria.
Yeah.
Kelsey T, I mean, she's on my team. I'm still rooting for her. I also think that she's beautiful and super smart and athletic and all these things. And so I'm like, come on, Kelsey. You got it going on. Definitely got potential. And Joey likes her too. He keeps saying.
I know. He is also really into her. And why wouldn't he be? I mean, she's pretty incredible.
She got pretty emotionally invested this episode and was really struggling.
She did. I know. That was hard. She was upset when Kelsey A went off on the Vespa. She looked amazing in that jumpsuit.
At some point, you're like, why am I here?
Yeah.
Right? This is the point in the show where the women start going a little stir crazy.
Yeah. And I think that was a moment. I think that's where she recognized too, like, she's got some unanswered questions with Joey and they need that time to really both connect.
Yeah.
Like, she needs that too. And again, that's so smart. Like, I don't understand why everybody on the show is not, like, aware of the fact that they also need to get to know the lead.
I love how she asked him, like, how can I show up for you?
Yeah.
And then this is what I need.
Yes.
I need action.
That was brilliant. So smart.
Good communication.
Yeah. She's on for Bachelor. I'm not saying she's old, but she's on the older side. She's also 31, I think. So
Oh, is she?
yeah, she does not look it, but
No.
I think that there's a level of maturity that comes with women a little bit older, and that's always so cool to see to me. And yeah, her communicating that to Joey was rad as fuck.
I was just thinking I would love to see her on Paradise. If they don't do Paradise, what's going to happen?
Oh yeah, spoiler, I guess, kind of. Paradise is like up in the air. It may or may not happen, and that is a real bummer for Mandy and I, since that's like,
That's the best part.
that's what do the boys call it? That's our Roman Empire. Like, that's what we're thinking about all the time is Paradise.
Well, I guess we'll see.
Yeah. Rachel's one-on-one.
I love Rachel. I think Rachel, I love how passionate she is about her career. I love the way she just talks to Joey, and she just seems so genuine. I also like that she's very forthright about the fact that she has a hard time opening up with people.
Yeah. Also, her ability to move her body is unreal.
Yeah.
That was so cool. I loved that she got this date.
I
Like,
know.
that was really neat to see her just. I hate when women feel uncomfortable and are like borderline struggling, and it's the exact opposite to watch them thrive in a date. And I feel like she did such an amazing job and was so comfortable in this setting, and I love that for her.
Well, when women can push through their insecurities and just give it their all, I think it makes them beautiful.
Yeah, I agree.
We have to comment on, so they do a flamenco date, and they get the special shoes, and Joey is wearing shorts.
And those little booties.
He's like, I've never worn high heels before. I'm like, okay, those aren't high heels.
Yeah, that's
It's like
a
a heel boot.
Yep.
But I will say the cut of the boot and the short length was not doing him any favors. And Rachel was like, but his legs are working it.
Yeah. Again, if somebody can push through their discomfort and just own it, it's hot. Joey was rocking it. I was here for
There
it.
was a lot of discomfort for Joey too. Did you see how serious his face was when he was trying to like learn the moves?
Yeah,
I thought it was really cute.
very. Joey so far has been just,
He plays tennis. He dances flamenco. He surfs.
he listens. Yeah, we're here for it. Do you have anything particular about the day portion?
No,
Same. They just don't have a lot of chemistry.
they don't.
I love that she opened up about nursing and how hard that is.
Yeah.
I think that is a very difficult profession. Shout out to all the nurses out there.
Thank you.
Very much, yes. He seems like he really respects her and
Yeah.
like appreciates how incredible of a woman she is. Like, I can't emphasize that enough. Like, I do feel like he is like, holy shit. Almost to the point of like recognizing that he should like her more, but doesn't.
Yep.
Because she's amazing.
But she's not it. I
Yeah.
can just tell.
But maybe we'll get her as the next bachelorette.
Maybe.
Come on, out there for her.
Jess and I were talking about our bachelorette picks, and we said Rachel
Jen.
and Maria.
Yes. For all different reasons.
Yes.
All three would be fantastic.
So that's what we're hoping for.
We're waiting for the Golden Bachelorette and the Bachelorette announcement. The fireworks. I always feel bad. I suspect that those are always close enough that all the other women are aware of them.
Oh, yeah.
Just same with the helicopter
Just
passing
salt-
by,
Salt in
circling.
the wound.
Yeah, we've really got to.
And then poking it a little bit.
Yep.
Can we just have an entire episode of Joey and Jesse playing tennis?
Yes, I love that. How fun is that for Jesse probably to be able to play tennis with Joey? I love that so much.
I want more of that content.
Yeah. Jesse shines when he leans into his old man. He's not old either.
Yeah, 44.
I also love that they give us Jesse's age, as if we need to know that. It makes me laugh every time.
I don't know why.
Just like, yep, here's Jesse. He's 44.
Did Joey wear the rust-colored suit at this cocktail party? I just have to call out the rust-colored suit because, holy shit, it looked so good on him.
Oh, damn, that's such a good question.
It was like a rust-colored
It
suit
was
with
amazing.
a dark shirt.
Joey's fashion choices, while they don't always land, I love seeing guys take chances.
Yeah.
Put on the colors.
More colors.
All the colors. Put on the booties with the shorts. Try it. You know? You just... Yeah, I can't remember either, though. But yes, that does warrant a shout out to the rust-colored suit.
So Joey's doing what he always does and is talking to the women at the cocktail party. And he's talking to Caitlin, which, can I just say, Caitlin is a delight. Caitlin deserves more screen time. I'm glad she's still here.
Me too.
She might not make it much farther, but I love her.
Me too. I feel like Caitlin is somebody that I would want to be friends with.
Oh, yeah.
Hands down. Just, yeah.
And she's talking to Joey, and Maria interrupts them, and Caitlin is like, oh, it's okay. And, you know, I'm sure, of course, she's like a little bummed that her time is cut short, but she goes back, tells the women, you know, Maria interrupted, and Jess starts having a fucking come apart.
Yeah.
It's giving me disrespect.
It's giving me disrespect.
Oh, it's giving disrespect.
It's giving disrespect. So funny. It's not funny, though, because Jess really does lose it. And I wanted to talk about this for a minute. How do we feel about interrupting during cocktails?
It's part of the game.
Thank you. It kills me that women get, and the guys get upset about it too. Like everybody gets so pissy, but it's like realistically, you've got to do what situates you best with the lead.
You are not entitled to time with the lead unless you ask for it.
Exactly. You've got to put forward some initiative. And if you don't feel comfortable, Joey can't pursue all the women. The lead can't pursue. Like, that's not how this one's got to go.
They do occasionally, but rule of thumb is if you want time for the lead, you have to ask for it or fight for it.
Yeah. And Caitlin wasn't upset. She thought Maria handled that well.
Yeah.
She wasn't mad about it. And it didn't seem like Maria took a ton of Joey's time. She just wanted to kiss him.
Can we also remember that Jess interrupted Joey twice on the first night after she had already gotten a kiss?
Right. Didn't she awkwardly just stand like 5 feet away from, I can't remember who it was having the conversation. Maybe it was Taylor.
That asked for more time.
Yeah. And so Jess like scoots over a few feet and then just lurks. Get out of here. You can't. And you got extra time at the end of the group date. So get out of here.
It is a dog eat dog world. If you want time, get in there. Be aggressive. Throw some elbows.
Yeah,
Go interrupt Maria.
Yeah, get up and go. Yeah, exactly. Just make it your own. But instead, she like calls Maria a bitch.
Well, she's throwing a tantrum. She's like,
Yeah.
it's not fair. La.
And I'm sorry. And Maria, again, trying to stay above the fray. And listen, I can acknowledge that it would be challenging to have somebody like Maria who just doesn't want to engage. But again, context matters. And in the context of this show, if Maria doesn't want to engage, she doesn't actually owe anybody anything. Like, people have not been kind to her.
Yeah.
She has been bullied.
Yeah.
She's sick of this shit. And she can tell Jess is trying to start more. She's not doing it. And honestly, fine. Is that hurtful for Jess? Probably, but Jess needs to handle that differently. That was really bad behavior.
But she did the opposite.
Yeah.
She breaks down.
She does.
And I was surprised she called her a bitch, to be honest.
Yeah, that was like, whoa, okay, we've taken it up a notch.
And then,
like,
of course, who's comforting who's comforting Jess crying in the corner but Leah?
Yeah.
Of course, Maria's the worst. Oh, you poor thing.
I know. Like, can we just please move on from this? Maria, I don't know, bitch eating crackers. Like, poor Maria cannot do anything. And everybody is just, not everybody.
I mean, I know it's edited, but Leah is way more focused on Maria being there than Joey.
Yeah. I know. I don't know. It's a wild one to me. And she gets a rose.
Didn't Leah also go out of her way to talk to Joey about how it's hard that Maria's still around?
Yeah, I thought that was bizarre, and Joey did not engage.
Yeah, because he's over it. He's like, I sent Sydney home. We're done. We got over the drama hurdle. It's gone. We're not doing it anymore.
Right, and then for Leia to come back and just be like, here's more. I was so sure. I was like, there's no way she's getting a rose. And then she does. So the drama continues. Are we going to get another 2-on-1?
Okay, he's not doing that to Maria. No, he's going to send Leah home.
Yeah, you better. I don't know when, but
I don't know. She's still pouring gasoline on that fire.
Oh, yeah,
You
she
know,
is.
she's like, if I'm gonna leave it in flames.
Yeah. I actually stopped taking notes at this point because I was so in shock at everything going on, and I might have been narrating some of it to Saul. I don't know. But so I'm a little vague on, do they just jump basically straight to the rose ceremony and then just stays? So it's all
So
fine.
basically, I think as it was edited after Maria, that's the end of the rose ceremony, of course, because now it sets up Jess to be more upset because she didn't get time. And we see Medina and
Autumn.
I mean, I was like, how is Autumn still here?
Yeah, that one was surprising. And honestly, I feel for Medina, but Medina too. There just wasn't the connection, and we are at the point of these episodes where if they feel like they're not getting the time, they're not going far. Like, connections have been made.
Man, watching what happens next, things get messy. The women start breaking down.
Right. This is the turning point that happens every season.
This is where the show gets less fun.
Right. Because at this point, we have people we like. I mean, aside from some really bad behavior, I never want to see anybody like really suffer or struggle.
Yeah.
And so it's always hard when you they're all in it deep and only one is going to be Joey's wife or
be
fiance.
To. Or we both, like, what did we just say?
Yeah. Be engaged to. Fiance. Sometimes they don't get married. Actually, a lot of the times. I don't know if we've had a bachelor couple get married.
There's only one woman that Joey's going to get down on a knee for.
We aren't doing polyamory here, so
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. But every Bachelorette and Bachelor season, there's a turning point where it's like, oh, this gets messy and it's not as fun anymore.
Yeah, because it's sad. People's feelings are really getting hurt and people really care.
Yeah, so buckle up.
Ooh.
We're on the roller coaster going ching, 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 ching.
That's
ching,
exactly
ching.
what it is. I'm like, yeah. But it's been so fun. Like, I'm really genuinely enjoying this season so far.
I know. Also, the Bachelor social media game has been on point. I just feel like everyone has been more energized by this season.
Yeah. Lucky us. I'm grateful we're able to talk about it, to watch it.
Bachelor, please maintain this momentum.
Yeah, I'm very excited. We're getting Golden Bachelorette. I think that's so smart.
Yes.
Maybe that's what's going to take the place of Paradise, because remember the timing of Golden Bachelor and Paradise. We were having we couldn't balance both, and it was both.
I still need something that's paradisey though.
I know, because Paradise is honestly probably the most low-key actual escapism fun.
And they get, not a lot of couples. They didn't have any couples last time, but the most successful couples have come out of Paradise because it's a more, I use huge air quote fingers when I say this, realistic dating scenario where people actually are spending time with each other and getting to know each other.
Right, and have an ability to jump from
person to person.
Yeah, they can homie hop if they want to.
Great television.
It is. Yeah, Mari and Kenny are married. Joe and Serena are married.
Ashley and Jared.
Though I don't know if Paradise encapsulated their...
No, they did. That's where they met.
Well, that's where they met.
Yeah, but it also took Ashley dating a guy on Winter Games for Jared to realize that.
Little slow to the update.
Who's their friends? Why am I forgetting? They have 3 kids.
Oh, yeah. Tanner and Jade. Yeah. Paradise has been very successful. So why are they canceling it? We don't know if they're canceling it, but that was a lot of bins. We've been hearing rumblings. Yeah. And we hope it's not true.
Nick said they should bring back Bachelor Pad, and I am 1,000% for that.
Or Bachelor Games, because the Olympics.
Winter Games was great. They should do Summer Games.
Summer Games.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That would be so fun.
If you didn't watch Winter Games, they did it during the Winter Olympics, and they brought in Bachelor people from all of the different franchises over the world, and they did little winter sport competitions, but it was also a dating show. It was great.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
I need to watch that still, so I gotta find it.
I don't know. Get creative. Keep doing new stuff. The Golden Bachelor paid off, but I don't just want Bachelor, Bachelorette, and Golden Bachelor and Golden Bachelorette because as much as I appreciated the newness of the golden feel, it's still very formulaic and similar. So I just don't want, like, give me the spinoff that's messier. Please.
Yeah, well, it gives us a break from a lot of the purity, like.
And it's just not a very realistic setting
No.
for people to actually make a connection.
Because the dates that they go on, for the most part, in Paradise are also dates that you could go on if you were traveling to Mexico.
Yes.
And so it doesn't have this air of just being, like, so fantastical that you have no real sense of what the other person would be like. Yeah, I'm with you. I think Paradise is the superior one.
And we've talked about ways that they could make Paradise more interesting. You know, like, let's gamify it a little bit. Let's mix it up.
Yeah.
So, you know, we'll see. But
Huh.
I don't know. Don't get rid of it.
Time will tell.
Anything else?
I don't think so. I'm proud of us. We actually remembered the candy review.
I wanted to end with my top 4. Yes.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
So I think the final 4 on Joey's season is going to be obviously Kelsey A, because I think she wins. Daisy, Lexi, and Jen.
I second that. I don't have anything to add. I will say, just kind of on that note, this would be a really brutal season to watch back for whoever does win.
Yeah, that's true. Because he is just making what feels like really heartfelt connections with a lot of women.
Yeah.
You guys, thank you for participating in our giveaway if you did. If you're a new listener, welcome. We love you and appreciate you for listening. If you don't mind subscribing or writing us a review, good or bad, we would appreciate any involvement or participation.
Absolutely. We're down for taking feedback. We're new. So, like, if there's things that you're just not, if we're sort of delivering and could do better,
I don't know.
we'll take it.
But ultimately, we just appreciate you, and anything that if you don't mind leaving us a review, it helps us a lot.
It does. So thank you for that. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you guys next week.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Drama Bonded is produced and hosted by Jessica Brumbaugh and Mandy Booth. Our production manager and editor is Solomon Brumbaugh. Our theme music is by Joe Waters. You can find more of his music streaming on the EP Jupiter Daywatch. Music vocals by Mandy Booth. Graphic designer is Pigeon House. Special thanks to everybody who has downloaded and listened to us. We are so, so grateful for your support. Thank you.